Welcome back to SiriusxM. Before the break, I was telling you a little about Teri Donelson, a powerful motivational speaker extraordinaire. We're so happy to have her on the show. Teri, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here today.
Good. So listen, what made you become a public speaker and business owner? You're an entrepreneur, of course, but not just a public speaker, but a motivational speaker. What started you on your journey?
I have just had so many obstacles in my life and things I've had to overcome that I felt like it would be an injustice not to speak out on it, because I felt that if I spoke, then it would give other women, other people from small towns, other people who started um, started a journey that the odds were stacked up against them. And I
Mhm.
felt like by me giving myself a voice and um, having that courage to step out on my authentic truth, that it would encourage other people to step out and live in their authentic truth as well. So that's what started the whole journey of public speaking and transformational speaking.
Yeah, I think people really like speakers who talk about the obstacles that they have faced. I think that really resonates with people because then people understand that we all have challenges in our lives, and if you can offer some strategies or some help on what it is that they should do to get around those obstacles that they are going to face just as a human being. I think that's what's really important, and that's what resonates the most. So when you talk to them about some of those obstacles, what are they? Like, what do you tell them? How did you get from point A to point Z in this case?
Right. So because when I coach, when I talk to women and men, I really have to figure out what it is that they feel that they're off with. So before we can really even start to dig into how to overcome those obstacles, I really want them to understand the root cause of their obstacles. And I say that because with weight loss, I was about 283 pounds at my highest. And you can't tell here, but I'm about 5'3.5". So very
Oh, wow.
much morbidly obese. Yes. So but at first I thought that I really just wanted to lose weight, to be healthy. But when I realized that the root cause of that was that I didn't want to leave this earth earlier than I needed to. And even while I was here, I didn't want to just exist. My mom also was overweight her entire life, but didn't have a lot of health issues. But when it boiled down to it, it was her carrying that weight for so long. And when I had my kids, I just didn't want the type of things that she had going on in her life. Hard to walk, hard to breathe once she got older. And then we lost her at a young 65 years. So I thought at first it was just about getting into my clothes. But when I really got to it, I realized I didn't want to leave my kids early. I really wanted to live. So you have to really just figure out what it is that is truly the issue before you can really start addressing the issue and moving towards solving those problems.
So you figured what was the issue within yourself and how to address those issues and challenges, but how did that transfer to your message, to your audiences?
Well, it really just depends on who's in the audience. So if the audience is really on a path of changing, which I like to work with individuals who are aspiring entrepreneurs, if they are
Mhm.
trying to move from that corporate life where they're really unhappy and unfulfilled, then I talk to them about my transformation from nonprofit and for-profit corporations and how I really got uncomfortable with getting that paycheck every 2 weeks, and decided that I wanted more than that. So I had to step back, figure out what skills I had that could transfer over into something that I love to do. I like to say, find out your purpose and then figure out how we can turn that into a profit. So that's one of the things that I do for people is help them to figure out what it is that they're passionate about, and then how can we make that into a profit.
Is that what you mean when you talk about pivoting to purpose, get uncomfortable? Because I heard you say you began to get uncomfortable with your biweekly paycheck. How is it that you get uncomfortable with your paycheck? You realize that you needed to be doing your own business, fulfilling your own dreams, and showing people how to do that. Is that what you mean by pivot to purpose?
So when I say pivot to purpose, I really in being uncomfortable, getting uncomfortable with the comfortableness of life.
Mhm.
So when I say stuff like that, it's like, I know, especially women, I can't really speak that much for men, but we
Right.
like to know exactly what's going on. At 8 o'clock,
Mhm.
I do this, 10 o'clock, I do this. And when you have a 9 to 5 job, you know what you're going to be doing. So it's very comfortable. But yet you could still be very unhappy, even though you're comfortable. So when I tell people that you have to pivot from what's comfortable and what's safe if you really want to create change in your life. If you really want to live a life authentic to yourself and not just being comfortable or doing what others expect of you to do, then you
Mhm.
have to get uncomfortable. That's the only way that change is going to happen. So when you have to pivot, so it's easy to go straight, but when it's time to pivot and to do something different, that's when the change really starts to happen.
Yeah. How do you stay motivated and inspired in your work, especially during challenging times?
So I have a couple of different things that keep me inspired. One, well, two are my kids. I always want to make them proud of me. And I have two little girls, or grown girls, they're 18 and
Me too.
14 now. But I want them to say, my mom is really dope. Like that's my mission in life, is that my teens think that I'm a dope mom. And so
Right.
when they see me out here living a life that is authentic to myself, when I get up every morning and I'm not saying, oh my God, I'll be so glad when it's Friday. And, no, because it's not a job for me. I'm really happy. Plus, I'm able to not only be financially secure, but I show them that if you are truly living in your purpose and you're thriving, then the money will come. So I like to say things like, don't chase the paper. Don't
Mhm.
chase that, because if you chase that, then you're always trying to get to that. But if you're chasing your purpose, if you know what it is that you're supposed to be doing, then you can go faster. And when times get rough, that purpose, that vision will push you to continue to go. But if it's just a 9 to 5 job, I'm gonna call off sick. I ain't gonna make it today. But if it's someone waiting for me, my clients, people that I'm serving that I love, I'm gonna get up and go. So my girls and then my clients, and just truly making a difference and an impact in the world really motivates me. That when I leave here, I'm leaving a legacy. So
Yeah.
those, yeah,
That's really important. I remember when I worked 9 to 5 back, oh God, it's been over 20 years. And one day I just could not go in to the building, into the office. I managed
yeah,
about 20 people and I just hated my job. I loved my boss, which was a good thing, but I hated my job. And I just stayed in the parking lot for about 15 or 20 minutes. I could not get myself to move, to get out of the car, to go into the building, and I just turned around and I went back home and I called my boss. I said, "I just cannot come back.
yeah.
I'm so
Oh, wow.
sorry that I just can't come back." She was like, "Well, can you at least come back for 2 weeks? We need 2 weeks notice. We gotta fill your position." I just apologized profusely, but like something would not let me come into or go into the building. And that's when
Yeah,
my life changed and it was like the skies opened up and everything just started really multiplying in my life for the better.
yeah,
And so I agree with you, it is uncomfortable for a little while. You are a little nervous about what the future may hold, but I just became so much happier when I began to fulfill my purpose. So I appreciate you, talking to women, especially about the importance of doing that because People can go their whole lives working a job that they hate, and they're miserable on their job, they're miserable at home. You don't want to die like that. You want to die, happy and doing what you love. So thank you for everything that you do. Before we go to break, Terí, please tell our listeners how they can reach you. Do you have like a website, how to reach you on social media, etc.?
I do. Thank you so much. It's www.teridonelson, as TeriDonelson.com. And then social media, IG, Instagram, which is IG, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube is all Teri Donelson.
Okay, that sounds good. We will be right back after these messages, folks. I don't want you to touch that dial. We have some good information coming at you from Teri Donelson right here on SiriusxM Radio, channel 141. And we're back here on SiriusxM Radio with Teri Donelson, who is all about a pivot to a purpose. I love that, pivoting to your purpose. So Terí, you talked about a challenging time in your life where you were overweight and you lost a lot of weight because you wanted to, be here for your children and leave a legacy for your children. What did you do to overcome that? Because it sounds like you probably lost 100 pounds or more. I don't know, but what did you do that got you to that point of saying, okay, I have got to lose this weight. I want to be healthy. I want to be around for my children. Let me figure out the key to getting this weight off. What especially did you do to do that?
Honestly, it really started with mindset because
Yeah.
I am one of 8.
Doesn't
And so,
everything
huh?
I said, doesn't everything start with
It
mindset?
really does. And I tell my clients that all the time. I was like, you can really do whatever it is you want to do if you get your mindset right.
Right.
So because I'm one of 8 and the way that we celebrated, and I'm from a country town, so we celebrated the grieving process, good grades, everything it was surrounded with food. So my entire family was overweight. So it took me a while to even get my mindset right that I don't have to finish everything on my plate. I
Mhm.
don't have to reward myself with food, just very small things that I had to start with to just deprogram my mind from what I was raised with. After I got to a point where I was 283 and I really wanted, I was eating a Krispy Kreme donut. Well, I
Good.
went to go get a dozen of, I don't know if you know about Krispy Kreme, but I was going to get a dozen of those donuts.
Oh,
And
I
before
know. I
it,
know
it,
about I
it
know
was,
about
it's an addiction. And Lemon Field was my favorite. And I ordered a dozen. And before I got home, which is about a 30-minute drive, I had inhaled about 6 of those donuts before I even got
yeah.
home.
Wow.
And I got really sick to my stomach thinking, why am I just stuffing myself? And I realized it wasn't even about the food anymore. I was kind of in a depressive state. It was just so much going on in life. And my mom was sick and my job, I hated it. And I was just kind of a mom and a wife. And that was it. I lost myself. So during that time, I had to say, hey, you got to start to focus on something that you can actually change. I like
Mhm.
a balanced life. And that's why I preach. But it's never going to be like this. But if you're so focused on your career and it's up here and your health is way down there, you're so off balance. And that's
Mhm.
kind of where I was. And I got to 283 and I said, enough really is enough, Terí. You know the outcome if you don't stop going the direction that you're going. So I got a nutritionist. I stopped trying to do like Weight Watchers, nothing against anything anyone does to lose weight. You
Yeah.
do what you have to do to save your life. But I've done Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, Slim Fast, all of them.
Yeah.
And I only did it for like 3 weeks in order to get the water weight off. And so I really went to a nutritionist, somebody who can truly help me figure out my body type, what works for me.
Right.
And that's what I started to do. I really started to focus in and really pay attention to everything that went in my mouth, looked at what didn't work and stuff like that. I started to move my body every single day. And
Yeah.
I started reading different things to start nourishing my body. And I'll tell you what was really funny is that that's when I really got into this purpose journey. I was
Okay.
still working at my job. But when I started to focus on my body, I started feeling good. I started to really, my mind started to open up to the possibilities that, hey, you can do whatever it is that you put your mind to. And
Yeah.
that's when I ran into this fitness guy. We started Extreme Hip Hop with Phil, which is a global organization that put the fun back in fitness. We have over 3,500 instructors. I started a certification program, and that's when my life changed, when I started to really focus in on my body, which is
Yeah.
unique to me. I tell people, if you open your mind up to the possibilities, you don't know what's out there for you until you allow your mind to really dream big and allow
Right.
your mind to let the universe bring in what is really for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you say that is your greatest achievement outside of, your two girls, losing the weight and getting fit and changing your mindset?
It absolutely was the best thing I could do it was the one thing I did for myself. It started out being for my kids.
Right.
They were why. But then it started being about me and being healthy and really making a difference in my life. And so the fitness I'm not a fitness expert. I just want to put that out there. I cannot tell you how to lose weight or how
Right.
to exercise, but I can tell you that when I joined this fight against obesity, I loved it because I was able to create something that was for my people, which
Yeah.
were overweight people, because a lot of people feel like they have to get thin before they can go to the gym, which is like getting well before you go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Um, so I love it. And although I'm not an instructor, I create the certification program, and I train people who want to do that to be able to instruct other individuals. But to be out there and to show people, hey, it's not about being skinny. It is
Yeah.
so not about being skinny. I am not. I'm a very curvaceous woman, and I love it.
Yeah.
But I'm healthy.
Yeah.
All of everything about me is healthy. So it's really about a wellness journey. So that was absolutely the biggest transformation that I made in my life, that you bubbled over into other areas of my life. And I like to say sparkled and sprinkled over and made the other parts of my life, awesome.
That's wonderful. I love hearing that. And congratulations too. That was a journey and you came out on top. How do you balance the demands of running a business with the responsibilities of being a public speaker? Because I'm assuming that public speaking is part of your business. I know you coach and you are an author, and you were just talking about your certification. It's a lot, and I know, I do a million different things as well, and it's a lot. How do you balance everything?
It took me a while to get there. Um, it really is prioritizing and having the vision of what I want to do. It's easier now because everything I do now is in alignment with my vision for how I want my life to go. So
Mhm.
even with my kids, my kids were like, excuse me, ma'am, we haven't seen you. We don't even know if you still live here or not, because I was traveling so much.
Right.
So as far as a speaker, I like to tell people that I love, more than coaching, I love speaking. I love to pour into others, but I don't want to leave you on the table bleeding. So that's how
Mhm.
the coaching program even started. I feel like I'm a speaker who coaches, but
Okay.
it's all because I want to help aspiring entrepreneurs to find the vision, to really craft it, and then evaluate and then refine it so they can be successful, not just in business, but also wellness, spiritual, your relationships, all of that. You can't go far if you don't have a vision, a clear vision on why you want to do it. And then you need a roadmap to how you want to do it. So it just takes people to help you to mold that thing, is what I like to say. I'm a person that holds on to your vision until you see it,
Yeah.
and I help you push it forward. So that's what I feel like my gift is. I can see the vision that that you have, and then give you steps to get there. So that's
Right.
one of I love to do. So I think the balancing act is just really truly knowing and clear on my vision so that I don't become overwhelmed. And I am a firm believer in taking breaks and taking vacations. That's one of the
Me
joys of being
too.
an entrepreneur
Me
is
too.
I'm going to vacation. I'm taking my kids. We are vacationing. So I
Yeah.
definitely I balance my life.
I'm a firm believer in taking naps and going to bed early and taking vacations. That's the only way I can do it. I waited
Yes.
until my children were off to college before I did entrepreneurship full time because to me, it's just like nurturing a baby, having a baby. It's 24/7. But yeah,
Yes.
you do have to get your rest and you have to put yourself first and all, self-care and all those great things. We're running out of time again, but looking ahead, Terí, what are your goals or aspirations for the future of your business and your career in public speaking? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I definitely I love to have, so I do a purposeful brunch, which is a brunch at the end of the year every year, and it's a brunch where women can come together and really get their mindset ready for the upcoming year. So we're being proactive and not reactive. So we are planning the first quarter, we come together, we network, all that good stuff. But this year, 2020, well, next year, so we'll start this year, but 2025, we're taking that on the road and we're going to do some traveling. So it'll be a purposeful getaway where they'll have an entire weekend to do just focusing on their business and their personal life. And so that's where I truly want to go. Besides being in front of about 10,000 women, I truly, I can see it. I've already envisioned it. And so I'm on my way of setting that path, but I definitely want to touch as many lives as I can and let women, but mostly women, know that you don't have to just be good at something. You really can be profitable and you really can be happy living in the gift that God gave you, and you can truly make it something great that a lot of times we feel like we can't make money from things that we enjoy doing. You absolutely can. You just
And
need
yeah.
to package that thing, right? And so that's what I want to do. I want to touch as many lives as possible, coaching and speaking.
Good. Well, we're about to wrap up, but tell everybody again how they can get in touch with you.
It is teridonelson.com, TeridonElson. And that's the website, as well as all social media platforms, YouTube, LinkedIn, IG, and Facebook.
Wonderful. That's it for now, folks. I'm your host, Sharrarne Morton, with my wonderful guest, Terí Donelson, a world renowned motivational speaker, author, coach, and so much more. We want you to, reach out to Terí. She can really help you. I hope that you take the information that we provided today and use it to unlock your purpose and pursue your passion. You can hear this show on SiriusxM Radio Channel 141 on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, as well as on iTunes, Spotify, and all of the streaming platforms. And check me out at Sharrarne Morton on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks again for tuning in on all things that are skin deep.